This is Johnny Bluestar. Welcome to Threshold, a global media event. Is the universe just a random dance of atoms, or is it a manifestation of a supremely intelligent architect? Can its purpose, or our purpose here on Earth, be adequately assessed? Can we commune with it, know its intentions, cooperate with its direction? Here, we define threshold as a gateway state of awareness, allowing mankind to cross into a place of real cognition. Threshold allows us to approach questions of higher reality through the door of experience, rather than mere belief. Welcome to Threshold, where we tear away the veil from commercial media, bringing our audience and participants into another realm of reality and enhanced communication.
This is Johnny Bluestar. We're back on Threshold with a program devoted entirely to music. As those who listen to us realize, this show is fundamentally about consciousness based on the spectacular concept that human beings can actually be in contact with a higher power. And more so, this higher power can help us direct our lives if we listen in the right way. Still, you might be surprised, considering all this, to note my seeming obsession with music. It's no accident. When I say that Threshold is a global media event, I'm not kidding, no matter how obscure it might seem now as a fledgling program at the very beginning of its march forward. For years, I've been planning this show and developing New Galaxy Enterprises as a media company with a strong musical division called Bridge of Light Productions. The goal of Bridge of Light Productions is to promote and develop music to act as a bridge of communication and sharing on an artistic, spiritual, and emotional level between countries, cultures, and ethnicities. Many people might disagree with me, but I believe that the strongest spiritual impulse to global spirituality was expressed, however, in the way it was, through the genre of music called acid or psychedelic rock. It was a component of what I call the consciousness movement, which culminated in what one might call the post-psychedelic era during the time of George Harrison's album All Things Might Pass, which was inspired by Harrison's interest in meditation. I'm no fan of the psychedelic movement, as I knew many people who were directly hurt during this period, which included other drugs besides LSD. One person I knew died through an accident undoubtedly triggered by his being on LSD. Another became schizophrenic. Another tried to commit suicide, and still another became addicted to heroin. I'm not trying to say LSD is a gateway drug, but I am noting that the era of acid's ascendancy was populated by other drugs. How many talented people in music and elsewhere, in entertainment and throughout the world, have we lost to drugs? Nevertheless, I'm saying that consciousness, when expanded by drugs, often produces creative fruit and spiritual insight. In fact, having been involved in meditation since I was 14, I told Richard Alpert, one of the leaders of the psychedelic movement, that he should get off of drugs during a show in the East Village called The Illumination of the Buddha. Not more than a year later, having nothing to do with my suggestion, I'm sure, Richard Alpert went to India, basically did give up drugs, and became Baba Ram Das, who wrote some extraordinary books and was, for decades, one of the most well-known teachers in the spiritual area. So during this period, despite many things that went wrong, the music of rock and roll did drive a message of possibility for human consciousness, and wonderful music resulted from the Beatles, Rolling Stones, the Grateful Dead, Jefferson Starship, The Doors, Pink Floyd, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, etc. But we all know that this little experiment went devastatingly wrong in many ways. Still, it showed that music could be a vehicle for delivering a powerful message for the possibility of enhancing consciousness and spiritual awareness. Even though the human beings inspired by their experiences were dabbling in powerful forces that could sabotage their lives and even their survival. We need a music now that could be a healing force throughout the world, one that is truly delivering a message from human beings inspired by a higher power in a powerful way. I believe that singers, songwriters, composers, and musicians participating in this program all resonate with the objective of creating music with a higher social and spiritual purpose, although each in his own way. I'm speaking about composer Edgar Aaron, singer Patricia Welch, singer-songwriter, professional harpist, and filmmaker Patty Greer, singer-songwriters Dave Nathan and his wife and lyricist Bonnie Blazek, and Stephanie Slevin, who is our guest today. Not every person involved in our show by way of music agrees with everyone else. Each person has their own take on social, spiritual, and political reality, and not every guest or performer on our show agrees with me. But I believe that each one makes an unusual and important contribution to social and political change. That's why we're here. Now, before I formally introduce our guest, Stephanie Slevin, let me say that she's not your typical songwriter. Stephanie certainly has a spiritual component of her already extensive inventory, but also has a controversial side to who she is and what she's doing. You see, Stephanie often receives inspiration from her songs in a very specific way, most unusual. So there are a number of interesting things about Stephanie. For one thing, she's very prolific, far more prolific than most artists. Let me say that she's not your typical songwriter. For one thing, she is very prolific, far more than you'd imagine. That's why I called our last program with her here a galaxy of song. For another, besides being prolific, though, Stephanie gets a certain amount of her music from dreams and perhaps from a very unusual source. Not out of the realm of human experience, but rare indeed. Before we actually talk about everything, I would like to play a song that exactly describes your situation. Is that okay, Stephanie?
Yeah, that's fine, Johnny. Thank you.
I talk to angels and they speak to me. They show me things that I don't usually see. Well, 'cause somewhere in heaven, God looks down with love, showing off mankind, but we just push and shove one another to the ground, making unholy sound. But if you wanna talk to angels, you gotta spread your heart around every town. I saw an angel at the end of my bed. He looked at me, but not a word was said. Well, 'cause somewhere in heaven, God believed in me, as he does us all, just awaits us to see. He is there, everywhere, all around, every town. Yes, I talk to angels, and they speak to me. They lead me places they want me to be. Well, 'cause somewhere in heaven, God looks down with love, showing us mankind, but we just push and shove one another to the ground, making unholy sound. But if you wanna talk to angels, you gotta spread your heart around every town, every town.
Now, this is kind of an amazing song, Stephanie. And I believe you're saying that the elements in the song are literally true, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I do talk to angels. Well, they talk to me. They whisper to me. I've seen an angel at the end of my bed, which was a male angel. And I once took a photo of an angel in a tunnel, which was a female angel. And a rapper I co-wrote a song with suggested I should write a song about my experiences with angels. So I did. And that's how this song came about.
Tell us about the photograph in the tunnel.
It was in December the 21st. I was going to a wedding, and my friend was driving, and we heard a little pebble hit the car. Didn't think nothing of it because I love taking photographs. So I was taking photographs with my iPhone, and I didn't see an angel, but when I looked back on the photo, you could see the angel there. And I've put that photo out for people to see. It's not a fake, and she's an angel when you can see her. And that's how that happened.
It's really a strange picture. I know, I've seen it.
Yeah, I sent it to you, yeah.
Well, I think a lot of your direction in life was inspired by your early childhood, in which you suffered a great deal of abuse after separating from your loving grandmother who cared for you during the early part of your life. Tell us about the events that happened to you when you were a small child.
Well, my grandparents were loving, and I was with them till I was nearly 6. And my grandmother used to see things as well, which I've not really told people before. But she was a little bit frightened of it. And I saw things, but I was never scared of it. And I used to write things about bumblebees and the sun. But when I came to London and I suffered mental and physical abuse from my parents, then my gift kind of took a turn, and I started to write things about pain. After seeing my grandmother being refused permission, looking through the window, she was walking.
Permission to see you. They kept her from seeing you, and she'd been your caretaker for so long.
Yeah, and I've never really felt sorry for my own pain, but it's just seeing her pain as I looked through the window. It was raining, and she put sunglasses on so no one could see her tears. And that image has always stayed with me. I can talk about it now, but for years I couldn't. I used to break down. It still hurts my heart when I think back to that. But it's always haunted me. But I'm doing good things with that now. So that's kind of strange.
Well, we're going to take a break now, but we're going to first play a lovely little song concerning a story which your grandmother led you to in a dream sometime after she passed away. Could you tell us a little about that?
Well, I've never been able to contact my grandmother in dreams. It's very rare, and no matter what spirits come to me, she doesn't usually come. And then one night I was sleeping and she came to me, and I saw these messages, and when I woke up I looked them up, and it led me to a story about a girl called Amber who was in a coma and whose grandmother was fighting a custody battle with the father to keep the life support machine on. And the story was dated Monday the 30th of December, which is my birthday, 30th of December, though it was a different year, 1991. And that's how I wrote the song. She led me to that.
Extraordinary. Let's hear Grandmother's Love by Stephanie Slevin.
Thank you.
She held her head above the waters deep, and though the body died and they all cried, the soul was there to keep, even in her sleep. And she felt the love, the tender kiss, so gently on her chin. For a grandmother's love is like the glove that fits the soul within of her loving kin. Yes, in an act of love, she held her head above the waters deep. And though the body died and they all cried, the soul was there to keep, even in her sleep. And she heard the noise, the fluffy toys, so gently overhead. And she felt the love, the tender care that circled round her bed when the prayers were said. For a grandmother's love is like the glove that travels far and wide. For the light was bright for Amber, for God was by her side.
Boots in Manhattan is a coming-of-age novel by Ray Boylan and Johnny Bluestar. It is about a young Tom Boots Raymond who grows up in New York in the 1940s, who was a member of a street gang.
My friends and I were about to start our own game of stickball when Rabbit Lacey, the head of the Rattlers, came up to us and tried to move in on our game. We were called dwarves, the youngest members of the stupid gang.
Hey, Kevin, I need you to get some gloves and some stuff I left at my place.
No, this is our game.
Hey, are you my good little dwarf or what?
You've been calling me a dwarf since I was 6. We're not your personal slaves, pal.
Hey, what is this? A dwarf rebellion? All right, big guy. We ditched the dwarf thing. We make you guys regular rattlers.
No, it's too late.
He looked at Jay and me. We looked away. Rabbit was now angry, and he pushed Kevin hard with the palms of his hand. Kevin tried to ram him in the stomach, but he stepped aside, throwing Kevin into the curb where he fell to the ground, bleeding profusely at the knee. Still, he managed to get up.
My street.
Kevin shouted at Rabbit, pointing at him with an angry index finger.
Find out more by Googling Boots in Manhattan, a 1940s coming-of-age novel, part 1 of the novel series The Foot Soldier by Ray Boylan and Johnny Bluestar. Google with the words Boots in Manhattan, Ray Johnny Kindle. That's Boots in Manhattan, Ray Johnny Kindle.
Nowadays, if you are a serious business person, just getting assistance from someone with a license and a bit of experience may not be sufficient. In fact, your realtor actually needs to be knowledgeable enough to be one of your top advisors. Whether you are facilitating a giant merger or selling your company, there's a lot at stake besides your finances. There is the future value of your current investment, financial freedom, integrity, and overall reputation. If you need this kind of assistance, Sandra LaFlamme is a real estate expert with the experience, reputation, and knowledge qualified to assist you in all your key transactions. Sandra LaFlamme, real estate services with integrity and conscience. Contact her today at 888-366-8070. That's Sandra LaFlamme at 888-366-8070.
Hi, Steph. Before the break, we played your song called Grandmother's Love, but after her death, you never really forgot her and used to go frequently to the cemetery to visit her. Here's a song you wrote about that.
No others I visit here. It's a place I need to be. I've seen orange sunsets, rain and snow in front of me, laying beneath the dampened someone I do love. She was an angel sent from heaven to me, and later taken back above. No longer will I hear her words, so very softly spoken, words to heal my wounded heart, that by cruelty had been broken. And as I slowly walk away, this love I can't give to another, I turn and whisper words to her. I'll see you soon, grandmother. And I do always think of her, forever in my mind. Always I think of her, never once was she unkind. In all weathers I visit here, for it's a place I need to be.
That is a beautiful song, Stephanie.
Thank you.
It's just a wonderful tribute to your grandmother. Tell us a little bit more about the song.
I just wrote that song because of my feelings for her and how I feel about her. And the pain never goes away, gets easier, but that's how I feel about her, and that's what I used to do, go to the cemetery all the time to feel close to her. And that was first a poem, and then I turn it into song.
There's another song that you sang before on our program called the program we called The Galaxy of Song. But still, the song gives us a little more insight into your background, so I'm going to play it again. It's called Goodbye, My Love. Tell us about how you came to write this song and how it was connected to the last song we played, The Cemetery.
Again, recently my grandmother came to me in dream and led me to, actually it was a poem she led me to. And when I read the poem, it was a poem someone had wrote about their grandmother, and it was telling me that I didn't need to go to the cemetery, and that she saw the rosemary beads that I'd recently bought her and draped across her photo, and that she could see what I was doing, and that she was with me and she was proud of me.
So basically she was saying, I'm not really dead.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm still here. Well, let's play this another incredible song called Goodbye, My Love.
Thank you.
I'll see you on the virgin shore, and when time doth fare me well, we will be as one once more. Goodbye, my love, I'll miss you so, for I don't want to let you go. But in dream you said to me that by my side you'll always be. And wherever I do roam, that you will be my telephone. Goodbye, my love, goodbye, my love. Goodbye, my love, goodbye, my love. Goodbye, my love, you fare thee well, and in due time my heart will tell everything you've shown to me, how to reclaim my dignity. Goodbye, my love, I fare thee well. You are the soul that rings my bell, and wherever I do roam, you are the heart within my home. Goodbye, my love, goodbye, my love. I'll see you on the virgin shore, and when time doth fare me well, we will be as one once more. Goodbye, my love, goodbye, my love. Goodbye, my love, goodbye, my love.
As I mentioned when I began today's program, which is called I Talk with Angels, I long had this vision of helping to bring people together, people who are musical artists, to create what I call the Bridge of Light. Here's another artist, a composer named Edgar Ahrens, who I've been associated with for many years as a lyricist, along with Patricia Welch, a wonderful singer and performer. We are proud to sponsor not only songs of Edgar Ahrens, but his work in scoring for television and film.
I've worked with Russian composer Edgar Ahrens for quite a few years, building an inventory of songs, many of which feature singer-performer Patricia Welch. We will soon be releasing these songs, components of an album and a musical in progress called Hadley's Castle. When Edgar and I first got together, I was amazed by the brilliance of his musical scores created for movies, TVs, and animations. Here is a sample of the work he did on the Russian TV series, available now on Amazon, called The Secret Agent's Memoir, which had 2 seasons. This score is called Escape and was created for the first season. I am very pleased to say that Bridge of Light Productions, a division of New Galaxy Enterprises, is proud to be the contact point for television and film companies seeking information about this amazing composer's work. If you're in the entertainment business and wish to know more, contact me at johnnybluestar@gmail.com. That's johnnybluestar@gmail.com.
It is the 15th century. El Tesoro de Cielo, a Spanish treasure ship, sends a scouting expedition to a strange island. Golden statues surrounding them prove the enormity of their find. Suddenly, hordes of ghoulish creatures with scaly green flesh and skeletal wings descend upon them from the sky.
What do you think of this, Rufio?
These creatures are fragile, Captain. We can take them with our swords.
They seem supernatural. Who knows what powers they possess?
Fallen angels, weakened by their treason.
My God, are you saying they're Nephilim, the devil's host?
I'm saying, whatever they are, we can take them. Do any of you cowards dare join me?
Up against sharp knife-like nails and hideous fangs, the men's swords rip into slimy green flesh. Though black blood pours copiously from their half-naked bodies, the creatures miraculously persist. Can the crew survive this bloody, cursed battle?
Find out more by Googling The Thrice Born, a new sci-fi supernatural novel by Carlos Lopez Avery and Johnny Bluestar. Google with the words Carlos Johnny Kendall, The Thrice Born. That's Carlos Johnny Kendall, The Thrice Born.
New Galaxy Enterprises is a media company specializing in wide-ranging content like novels, nonfiction books, screenplays, commercial advertising, web content, etc. One of our most esteemed providers is illustrator Robert W. Zalo. I work on all my most important projects like book covers, logos, web design elements with Robert. As an illustrator, he worked on the Ignatz-nominated comic book, The Expert's Guide to Killing Things That Go Bump in the Night. His skills encompass advertising, magazine illustrations, gaming, comic books, TV production, and scenic painting. His clients include Comcast, Adelphia, Haven Talent, ForceWorks, High Octane Theater, Star Creative Advertising. If you wish to contact Robert, go to johnnybluestar.com and let me know. That's johnnybluestar.com. For artist illustrator Robert Zalo, an essential component of all the work we do. Maybe he can help you too.
We're back with Stephanie Slevin, who is as you may, if you've been paying attention, a rather accomplished and amazing songwriter. Stephanie, so far we've dwelt a bit on your childhood and your focus in your music on your grandmother, although deceased, who seems to come to you in dreams and visions. But she's not the only deceased person you seem to communicate with, is it?
No, all different sorts of spirits come to me in dreams and sometimes whisper to me, and one has even sung to me. And they give me messages in dreams which lead me to places and help me to write songs to help people that are living, like relatives here that need comfort.
Now, those who appear to you those who appear to have conscious contact with the dead are often called mediums, a controversial label as far as many people are concerned. But this kind of contact has happened to you since you were a very young child, hasn't it?
Yeah, since I was 4 years of age. And I wasn't scared of it. But when I came to London and I was older, I started to fear it a little bit. So they stopped appearing to me as spirits and started to speak to me in dreams. That's how it became like that. But recently I've started to see spirits again as well.
Well, let me read you a paragraph from an article by Bob Olson called Being a Child Medium or Child of a Psychic Medium. Quote, many psychics and psychic mediums recall having childhood experiences that indicated a gift as early as age 3. Some psychic mediums saw dead relatives in their youth. Others carried on a conversation with those spirits. Still other children seem to know things psychically that allow them to predict future events. Despite their telling their parents about these events, these childhood signs of a spiritual gift went unnoticed by adults in almost every case. Tell us what it was like in your situation, Steph. When you were finally returned to your parents after being with your grandmother, did they notice anything about your gifts or at least respond to what you told them, what you were seeing and experiencing?
They did, but my mother used to say it was a gift from the devil, and she used to physically attack me to try and rid me of that gift. I even had head injuries which needed several stitches as well. But my dad, he actually used to see things, but he didn't really talk about it, and he didn't want me to talk about it to anyone, and said people wouldn't understand. So that's basically what happened there.
Yeah. Well, I think that mediumship is a very controversial subject to many people, but it has a very long history, and even one that includes some serious scientific investigation. Well, anyway, a psychic gift of any sort today still is often treated with fear or disdain by people who've never experienced the dilemma faced by a person with this ability. Gifts are often like that. Here's a song you wrote about Robert Johnson, one of our great blues artists who also faced a great deal of contempt and challenge about his music. Here's a song about a courageous artist who is compelled by his nature to produce some amazing music. Your song, Stephanie, called Gifted.
They say you're gifted. You must have got your gifts from the devil. Your lyrics uplifted because they're on a new level. Look to the left, look to the right. There's a devil on my shoulder, or is he hiding from sight? They say you're gifted. You must have made a pact with the devil. Your lyrics uplifted. Could I not have got them from heaven? What's wrong with you? Can't you see? My gifts are from God, for he believes in me. Gifted, so I get a little frisky. Gifted, so you poison my whiskey. Look to the left, look to the right. There's a devil on my shoulder, or is he hiding from sight? They say you're gifted. You must have got your gifts from the devil. Your lyrics uplifted because they're on a new level. What's wrong with you? I've waited so long. My gifts are from God, and my name is Robert Johnson.
If you like Threshold Radio, a program which deals with core issues affecting our personal, political, and spiritual lives, and advocates the creation of an enlightened, informed citizenry, not only in America, but throughout the world, then you might think of supporting both your product and business and our message by advertising on our show. All programs are archived and are supported in various ways, including social media, our outreach being broadcast weekly on VegasAllNetRadio.com, a very advanced internet broadcasting station, but also archived directly on our websites on YouTube and in SoundCloud. We believe in time we will have a very broad outreach. Through New Galaxy Enterprises, our parent company, we can create a wide range of marketing and advertising components to complement your advertising on Threshold Radio and increase your outreach in many creative and exciting ways. If interested, just go to www.thresholdradio.com and fill out a contact form with your interest. That's www.thresholdradio.com.
It is the 15th century. El Tesoro de Cielo, a Spanish treasure ship, sends a scouting expedition to a strange island. Golden statues surrounding them prove the enormity of their find. Suddenly, hordes of ghoulish creatures with scaly green flesh and skeletal wings descend upon them from the sky.
What do you think of this, Rufio?
These creatures are fragile, Captain. We can take them with our swords.
They seem supernatural. Who knows what powers they possess?
Fallen angels, weakened by their treason.
My God, are you saying they're Nephilim, the devil's host?
I'm saying, whatever they are, we can take them. Do any of you cowards dare join me?
Up against sharp knife-like nails and hideous fangs, the men's swords rip into slimy green flesh. Though black blood pours copiously from their half-naked bodies, the creatures miraculously persist. Can the crew survive this bloody, cursed battle?
Find out more by Googling The Thrice Born, a new sci-fi supernatural novel by Carlos Lopez Avery and Johnny Bluestar. Google with the words Carlos Johnny Kendall, The Thrice Born. That's Carlos Johnny Kendall, The Thrice Born.
Here's another great musical artist I've worked with for years, Patricia Welch. This is Johnny Bluestar. I've worked as a lyricist with Patricia Welch for over 5 years, along with Russian composer Edgar Ahrens, a friend and colleague. Her ability as a singer is simply amazing. She brings a unique and dramatic flair to every song she sings. Over the next few months, we shall be releasing a number of these songs, part of an album called Hadley's Castle. Meanwhile, Patricia has been busy creating a super enjoyable collection of classic standards in an exciting 46-song, 3-CD collection.
Music for great entertaining introduces Cocktails, Dinner, and Dessert with Patricia Welch. 3 hours of continuous music. 46 of the all-time classic standards, spanning decades of hit songs. Going to a friend's home for dinner? Cocktails, Dinner, and Dessert with Patricia also makes the perfect hostess gift. This 3-CD compilation is the perfect background music that sets just the right mood for any dinner party.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy.
To purchase this album, just go to patriciawelch.com/CD. That is patriciawelch.com/CD. You won't be disappointed.
So, Stephanie, the fact that is that you really do have a lot of unusual contact with angelic beings and the deceased. Tell us how this works for you in more detail, how it influences your songwriting.
Well, spirits come to me in dreams, and sometimes I hear whispers, even when I'm awake, and I hear names whispered to me. So I'll look up these names, and they're people that exist, and usually they're people that are deceased. I'll look up their story, and you can see the way they've passed. Sometimes it's tragic. And then a song will come to me, and I'll write a song. And I realise that these spirits want me to do this in songs to help the relatives that are here grieving. That's why they come to me in dreams and that.
Well, you know, there's a song you wrote about someone named Mary Jane Kelly. This is certainly one of the strangest choices that I've come across of your songs about the deceased. Tell us about her.
Well, Mary Jane Kelly was a victim of Jack the Ripper. And bizarre as it may seem, Jack the Ripper has always haunted me in my dreams. I never see his face, but he's always in the distance. And this is since a child. And decades later, I discovered I had a baby sister buried in the same cemetery as Mary Jane Kelly, who now sings in my dreams. She has a beautiful voice, and this is a song I wrote for her.
The river runs through the valley, and I'm stood in the alley, for I'm just a lonely girl on cobblestones, looking to earn some money. The pain runs through so many, just trying to earn a penny, for I'm just a golden girl on trodden path, trying to sell some honey. And I took the grapes he offered me, a little coin for a cup of tea. For I'm Mary Jane Kelly, that's me. Yes, I'm Mary Jane Kelly, that's me. And they thought I could not read or write, but I like to hear the voices at night. For I'm Mary Jane Kelly, that's me, and that's just the artist in me. The river runs through the valley, he took me from the alley, for he sensed my vulnerability. Then look what he did to me. For I'm Mary Jane Kelly, that's me. Yes, I'm Mary Jane Kelly, that's me.
Steph, how come you, why do you think that Mary Jane Kelly would contact you?
I don't know, but I mean, Jack the Ripper has always haunted my dreams since I was a child. He's always standing in the distance, and I'm standing on a stage in costume. And then years later, I find out she's buried in the same cemetery as my sister, Roman Catholic cemetery.
Oh, that's very strange indeed. Speaking of criminals, and I think we can say that Jack Ripper was definitely a criminal, you have had a certain interest, even since you were very young, in sort of being a psychic person who would either maybe locate the missing people or deal with the police and trying to help them solve crimes. Isn't that right?
Well, it's something I'm interested in. I mean, when I was 11, I used to have a lot of true crime magazines, and I used to have them all over my wall because I used to be able to close my eyes and see visions of where missing people could have been and get names of places. But trying to get people to take you serious is another thing. They just think you're crazy or you're mad. But I've always had that gift. And now I'm doing these songs, it's leading me back there. After all these decades, it's starting to lead me back there.
Now, I think there was you told me a story about your father reaction to your, interest as a child in this type of thing.
He took everything off the wall and he threw everything out and he wouldn't let me do it. He said, you're not going to do things like that. He wouldn't allow it. Anything to do with anything I did like that, he just wouldn't let me do it.
Did they ever explain anything to you about that? Was that their religious beliefs, your mother and father, or was it just a feeling that they had?
No, they were physically and mentally abusive. They didn't really care about God or anything like that. They used to say bad things about God. They just didn't. Even my sister was very talented, and they just didn't care. They just didn't want us to use it at all. They said we weren't talented, we had nothing, and we would be nothing. And that's what they used to say, and stop us whenever we tried to do anything.
Well, obviously you persisted. And what did it take for you to persist? I mean, how did you cope with this?
Some people say to me now, why did you do nothing years ago? And I did. I've actually put things out years ago and advertising ideas what got stolen from me and things like that. So I have tried and ended up in very dangerous situations. But I came to a low point in my life And something happened to me when I came to that low point, and I realised that I had to put my stuff out there, because there are those that don't believe, but there are those who do believe, and I have to do this, and I'm happy to do this. This is who I am, and it's my calling, and I'm going to answer it. That's how I feel now.
It's sort of a sense of mission, isn't it? I mean, it's like a very, some people, when I grew up, one of the problems was that I felt called to be a writer, and and some other things, not just a writer, but a painter, a few different things in the arts, particularly at the time, and then later on it was broadcasting. I added that to the inventory of what I wanted to do, and I could not be stopped. I just couldn't do it, because it would, inside of me, I would feel like I was almost like I was betraying my calling, like you feel. And so I kept going. I think that persistence it's like a mark of somebody who is driven by a higher calling.
Well, I just know what I'm meant to do, and I'm doing it, and I'm happy to do that, and I like to help people. So if it helps people, that's good, I think there's a platform for everyone, no matter what shoes you wear.
Well, tell us a little bit about, obviously, a lot of times people will say, well, somebody who's psychic or possibly even a medium, they will say, the stereotype thing is to say they're being led by the devil. But there are also other types of objections, basically saying these are not callings that come from God. Tell us about your relationship to God and how you feel about God.
I've always loved God. I've always believed in God. It comes from my grandmother. I went to a Catholic school for a couple of years, from the age of 4 up to nearly 6. And we used to pray together. And I've always felt God's presence, as she did. And I do believe in the devil as well. I believe there's dark forces. But I've always liked to help people. And my grandmother was like that. She had a very good heart. She would hurt nobody. And I just want to make her proud. And I believe that my gift is a God-given gift. I think God gives us all, but just sometimes we don't realize we have that gift.
Well, I was brought up, I would say that although there was some sort of belief that my mother might have had, it was basically an agnostic situation, where there wasn't any belief. They certainly, I wouldn't say that they abused me in any sense like you were abused. But I didn't have it totally easy either. But I felt extremely empty. I was always searching, because I always believed in God from the very moment that I was conscious. But it was kind of lonely, to believe in something and where you weren't surrounded by anything that kind of validated it. And I think because of that, I was extremely urgently trying to seek out whatever could be true, different religions, different spiritual movements, dozens and maybe hundreds of books. And then later on, I actually wrote a book and interviewed many spiritual leaders in New York in the 70s, and I got very acquainted with a lot of different things, and it still goes on. Except I think I feel like I've crossed into a threshold, which is what the show is about.
Yeah.
Somehow there is a point, isn't there, in your life where you felt maybe a heightened, where the connection became a little bit more heightened and more clear to you?
Yeah, definitely. It was at my lowest point, and I just felt inside like I was dying and everything was going wrong. And then I realized I was making the wrong choices. I was doing the wrong things. So, I was blaming God sometimes. Why are you doing this to me? I was doing it to myself. And I was very low. And then I had a dream. I had a messaging dream which led me down the right path. And ever since that, I've followed that path. And I know that I'm going in the right direction for me. And I'm helping people along the way. And I'm helping myself. And that's a good thing too,
Yeah, there's a sense where you're on the right, you finally get on the right path. And then once you're there, I think a lot of miraculous things can happen.
Well, my abilities are becoming stronger now. I think I'm in tune with them more because I know that I'm following the right path.
Yes. Well, I think that's what this program is about. It's about helping people find who they are and showing them the possibilities for themselves, and then for those who are already there, sort of providing a little bit of impetus, motivation for them to continue their journey. We'll be back on Threshold in just 5 minutes. Stay tuned.
This is Johnny Blue Star. Welcome to Threshold, a global media event. Is the universe just a random dance of atoms, or is it a manifestation of a supremely intelligent architect? Can its purpose, or our purpose here on Earth, be adequately assessed? Can we commune with it, know its intentions, cooperate with its direction? Here, we define Threshold as a gateway state of awareness, allowing mankind to cross into a place of real cognition. Threshold allows us to approach questions of higher reality through the door of experience, rather than mere belief. Welcome to Threshold, where we tear away the veil from commercial media, bringing our audience and participants into another realm of reality and enhanced communication.
We're back with Stephanie Slevin on a program called I Talk with the Angels. Stephanie, who appears to have psychic and even mediumistic gifts, has a consistent focus also on the spiritual side of life, on God as a protector, mentor, and continuing uplifting component of her experience. Tell us a little bit about your focus on God and how you believe true spiritual experience is woven into your songwriting and performance.
Well, I'm doing good things with my gifts, so that's why I've always believed they're God-given. And I've always believed in God, and I've always looked to God for guidance. And I like to put my soul in my shoes and keep walking. That's what I say. And I've believed in God from a very early age, and that comes from my grandmother. For when we used to go to the church, and I used to go to the Catholic school, and I really had great times at the Catholic school. They were very good to me, the nuns and the priest, as they were to everyone. And that's where my influences come from. So very way back when I was very young, you know.
You know, in a moment or two, we're going to present a song you wrote called By Your Side. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's a song I wrote, again, when I was listening to Robert Johnson. For some reason, when I listen to Robert Johnson, I get inspired and write songs. But also it was inspired by a message in Dream, which led me directly to certain sayings of Jesus. So there's a little bit of two things going on there with that song.
Let's hear it.
The winter lake is crystal clear. The summer's coming near. The birds are in the sky. And you were taken from my side. Went out for a ride. My love I cannot hide. The sun is shining up above. Can you hear me weep, my love? Please let me know you're there. My love, please don't sit and weep. I lay with you in sleep, and I'm sat on heaven's stair. Yes, I was taken from your side, went out for a ride. My love I cannot hide, for the winter lake is crystal clear. The summer's drawing near, the birds are in the sky. And when you close your eyes to sleep, I will kiss your cheek, and you will know I'm there.
Well, that was an interesting song. Here's another song that's inspired by a folk melody. it's a tremendously intriguing song, what we're going to play, called My Pretty Shoes. Perhaps you can interpret it after we play it. I'm captivated by the song, its depth, and its candid description of your experience. Here we go, My Pretty Shoes.
Ha, 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 ha. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. But have you not seen me dancing in my pretty shoes? Have you not seen me dancing, for I've nothing to lose? Have you not seen me dancing, for your pain so downtrod? Have you not seen me dancing, for have I not shown you God? Yet God sends me messages straight through my head. He speaks them in dreams, and this is what he said. I'm sorry for your pain behind hell of gates. I was vastly outnumbered and in pain of state. I'm sorry for your pain and arriving too late. Won't you please forgive me for making you wait? For have you not seen me dancing in her pretty shoes? Have you not seen me dancing, for she's nothing to lose? Have you not seen me dancing, for your pain so downtrod? Have you not seen me dancing, for has she not shown you God? In dreams I walk and talk with the dead. They send me messages left of unsaid. In dreams send me places I do not know. But on this journey I know I must go. For have you not seen me dancing in my pretty shoes? Have you not seen me dancing, for I've nothing to lose? Have you not seen me dancing, for your pain so downtrod? Have you not seen me dancing, or have I not shown you God? Make way for the Lord, for he cometh after. Amen.
Wow. Tell me about this song. Explain it to me. It's so fascinating, but I don't... Those are the final words of Jesus in the beginning, aren't they?
Yeah.
Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. Is that it?
Kind of. I was led to a Jewish folk song by a messaging dream that I had. And then on listening to the little tune, the song came about straight away. Because most of my messages in my dreams, strangely enough, lead me to the Jewish community for some reason. So.
That's really interesting. Let's go to the break with another song you wrote, which I believe was also kind of directly addressed to God, called "I'm Sorry."
You have been there for me all along. You were right, I was wrong. I was so weak and you were strong. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I abused the talent you had given me, for in my dark despair I could not see the precious gift you'd given me. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I thought that you had abandoned me. I never felt I was worthy, until in dream you came to me. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I end this song and thus my dark despair. I need not pray to you upon my stair, for I am here and I know you are there. And I'm sorry, so sorry.
Stephanie, tell us a little bit about the song, why you wrote it, and what it's about, because it's so intriguing.
I felt bad for some things I'd done in my life, and I was living my life the wrong way, and I was always blaming God, and it was my own fault for making the wrong choices. So I just wrote a song to tell him that, how I felt, and that I was sorry.
That's really nice. We're going to take a break now, and the first commercial is about a book I wrote with a friend of mine, and basically it's about angels, Stephanie. It's about fallen angels. I wrote it with Carlos Lopez Avery, who we've worked together a long time. It's part of a franchise film and book package. But it's kind of a comic, a little bit of a comedy. As a matter of fact, the angel involved falls in love with somebody who's actually in Las Vegas, where this is being broadcast from. So let's hear a little bit about the Thrice Born.
It is the 15th century. El Tesoro de Cielo, a Spanish treasure ship, sends a scouting expedition to a strange island. Golden statues surrounding them prove the enormity of their find. Suddenly, hordes of ghoulish creatures with scaly green flesh and skeletal wings descend upon them from the sky.
What do you think of this, Rufio?
These creatures are fragile, Captain. We can take them with our swords.
They seem supernatural. Who knows what powers they possess?
Fallen angels, weakened by their treason.
My God, are you saying they're Nephilim, the devil's host?
I'm saying, whatever they are, we can take them. Do any of you cowards dare join me?
Up against sharp knife-like nails and hideous fangs, the men's swords rip into slimy green flesh. Though black blood pours copiously from their half-naked bodies, the creatures miraculously persist. Can the crew survive this bloody, cursed battle?
Find out more by Googling The Thrice Born, a new sci-fi supernatural novel by Carlos Lopez Avery and Johnny Bluestar. Google with the words Carlos Johnny Kindle, The Thrice Born. That's Carlos Johnny Kindle, The Thrice Born.
This is Johnny Bluestar. I've worked as a lyricist with Patricia Welch for over 5 years, along with Russian composer Edgar Ahrens, a friend and colleague. Her ability as a singer is simply amazing. She brings a unique and dramatic flair to every song she sings. Over the next few months, we shall be releasing a number of these songs, part of an album called Hadley's Castle. Meanwhile, Patricia has been busy creating a super enjoyable collection of classic standards in an exciting 46-song, 3-CD collection.
Music for great entertaining introduces Cocktails, Dinner, and Dessert with Patricia Welch. 3 hours of continuous music. 46 of the all-time classic standards, spanning decades of hit songs. Going to a friend's home for dinner? Cocktails, Dinner, and Dessert with Patricia also makes the perfect hostess gift. This 3-CD compilation is the perfect background music that sets just the right mood for any dinner party.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. There was a boy, a very strange, enchanted boy.
To purchase this album, just go to patriciawelch.com/CD. That is patriciawelch.com/CD. You won't be disappointed.
We're back with Stephanie Slevin, kind of a visionary songwriter and someone who receives inspiration from the deceased. Now, Stephanie, not all your songs are really all that pleasant, because they are dealing sometimes with souls who have faced heartache and disaster. Is this hard for you to write about people with such troubles?
Yeah, sometimes it can be very, it can make me very tired, and I can end up in bed for a few days and very upset, and it can like drain my energy. But it's what I'm meant to do, and I suppose it's like any job really. If you do it all the time, you become drained and tired, you know.
Well, yeah, it also is, it's a sense that you're using these songs to, in a way, to comfort people or to warn them even about certain things. There's a purpose to your songs.
Yeah.
Now, tell us about your song called Daddy.
This song is about a father who lost his son in very tragic circumstances. I wasn't actually sure whether I should do a song about this, but I read the story and I closed my eyes and I said to God, do you want me to do a song? And I felt this breeze, like I actually felt the boy go through my soul. And then the words came and the music came and I wrote the song.
Okay, well let's play Daddy now.
We never got to go to Egypt and walk upon the golden sand, to look upon the wonders of the pyramids as you gently held my hand. But are you safe in heaven? With the angels do you sleep? Are you safe in heaven? For I still sit and weep. And he said, Daddy, I need to say goodbye, but I don't want to see you cry. Daddy, don't worry about me, for I'm safe in heaven's sky. Daddy, I need to say goodbye, but I don't want to see you weep. Daddy, don't worry about me, for with the angels I do sleep. You were my summer sun, then the winter come, crashing around my fears. And I can't stop the hurt inside through all of the years. For are you safe in heaven? With the angels do you fly? Are you safe in heaven, in God's pure and bluest sky? And he said, Daddy, I need to say goodbye, but I don't want to see you cry. Daddy, don't worry about me, for I'm safe in the bluest sky. Daddy, I need to say goodbye, but I don't want to see you weep. Daddy, don't worry about me, for beside me God does keep. You were my summer sun, then the winter come, crashing around my fears. And I can't stop the pain inside, 'cause God still hear my tears. For are you safe in heaven? With the angels do you fly? Are you safe in heaven, in God's pure and bluest sky? And he said, Daddy, I need to say goodbye, but I don't want to see you cry. Please, Daddy, don't worry about me, for I'm safe in the purest sky. Daddy, I really love you. Tell Mommy I love her too. And God felt your pain in heaven, for he let me come on through. But Daddy, I need to say goodbye, but I don't want to see you cry. Please, Daddy, don't worry about me, but I really must say goodbye.
Wow, that's definitely something. I think that a lot of times one of the things that gives people comfort is to either experience, which is a little bit rare, or to hear about near-death experiences where a person actually dies and comes back to life. It's quite common, and there's been a lot of research about it. But the more traditional way of feeling comforted, to certain people anyway, was through the intervention of a medium who would tell something about a deceased person to their parents or their brother or sister or friend. Let's play another song about a tragic death, which is also a kind of advertisement about car safety, as a matter of fact, from a young man who perished all too early. Before we play Johnny McGinty, tell us about something, something about the unusual way you came about to write this song.
Well, he came through to me in dream through a message, and he led me to his story. And he lived in the United States in a town called Estelle Manor Park, and I live in London in a town called Manor Park. So, and he was very he was a flighty sort of spirit. He was upbeat, and he didn't want me to do a sad song. He wanted me to do an upbeat song. I was a bit I didn't really want to do it like that, but he insisted. So that's how that song came about.
Very interesting. Well, let's hear it. Let's hear the song called Johnny McGinty.
Johnny McGinty, you were just a boy. Johnny McGinty, your car was not a toy. You want to tell the people exactly how you felt when you crashed into a tree, not wearing of your belt. Hi Mum, hi Dad, I've come to leave me mark. I came for to this lady who lives in Manor Park. She wants to do a sad song, I wouldn't play along. She was very nervous in case she got it wrong. Oh Lord love her, she's making people cry. But I'm having fun playing with Jesus in the sky. And I want to tell the people exactly how I felt when I crashed into a tree, not wearing of me belt. Hey all you lot, wear your safety belt, for it's the ones we leave behind, well their pain is always felt. And don't take chances when driving on your own, for you might have an accident and never make it home. Hi Mum, hi Dad, I'm sorry what I done. I was acting stupid but I was so very young. And please don't blame this lady for a little song, for she's so very nervous case you take it wrong. Oh boy, Johnny, you're going to get me into so much trouble.
Well, I wanted to know a little bit more. You said something intriguing to me before in the last hour. You were talking about how at one point you were actually seeing spirits, and then you got a little bit afraid and stopped, and then they began to appear to you in dreams, but now they're coming back. What does it mean to see a spirit? Are you actually seeing it? Is it in the room with you? What is it like?
Yeah, sometimes it's just like seeing a person. They just walk past very slowly. I've only seen a couple of spirits recently because I've always been a bit afraid of it, to be honest with you. It scares me as well.
Are they opaque? I mean, do they look like human beings, or are they sort of translucent where you can see through them?
No, it just look like normal people. I went to do a reading for a lady recently, which is something I don't usually do. And I saw this guy, and he was wearing glasses, and he was a spirit, and then he disappeared. So I said to her when I get there, because she was trying to get in touch with her mum, I said, you don't know a guy with glasses? She went, yes, that's my dad. He always wore glasses even to bed because he was scared he was going to lose them.
Wow.
So that's happened, and she was quite shocked, and I was shocked. So.
Well, what about when you were a child? Did you actually see spirits then too?
Yeah, I saw spirits then, but I became afraid, so they kind of disappeared, and then they I used to hear voices, and they used to come to me in dreams.
What were they like? Were they children spirits, or
no,
were they adults?
Yeah, adults. I always see adults, spirits mainly.
And when you were a child, did they talk to you? Did they interact with you in any way?
They try to. Mostly they just look at me or sit on the bed, but I just wouldn't look. I used to close my eyes and just want them to go away because I was scared. So, and eventually they did go away, but then they came back in dreams.
Let's talk a little bit about your career outside of the sort of spiritual adventures. I mean, how is it going for you right now? You seem to being played on radio stations throughout the world.
Yeah, things are starting to go well. I've not made a living from it yet, but I'm hoping to. I've got one of my songs, I Know That You Love Me the Most. It appeals to quite a lot of people, and that's playing on about 45 stations worldwide. I've won a couple of awards, and good things seem to be happening, and doors seem to be opening. And I'm on your show, so that's another good thing.
Well, I love this song, and I think that we should. It's just so touching and funny and interesting. So let's play it. Let's play this song that many, many people throughout the world have heard, and more should. Here we go.
I may have marmalade on my toast, and you may have your caviar. fancy car. I'm down here and you're up there. You're giving me the looks like you don't care. But they say love and hate are so very close, so I know that you love me the most. I know by the way you stare at me that deep down inside you care for me. You may drink champagne to my cup of tea, but nobody freaking cares. And you say I ain't the one for you, that I'm way down there beneath the view. But look at what your poor Sheikh's done to you, and nobody freaking cares. She took your money and laughed at you, and then slept with all your mates and they were laughing too. So let's kick her to the curb, yeah, me and you, for nobody freaking cares. And I know you said bad things of me, but deep down inside you care for me. For they say love and hate are so very close, so I know that you love me the most. You took to your drink and your one night stand, so please don't judge me by your own bad hand. Yeah, stand up straight, just be the man, for nobody freaking cares. And come down off your mighty horse and take a chance on me, and we'll run the course, and we'll show the bitch we don't do divorce, for nobody freaking cares. And I know you said bad things of me, but deep down inside you care for me. For they say love and hate are so very close, so I know that you love me the most. Yes, I know that you love me the most.
The following is from West Side Warrior, the memoir of Ray Boylan, a Korean War veteran and crime fighter. He was there fighting in the world's coldest battlefield when the Chinese communists invaded.
Desperate squad members ran past our foxhole yelling, "Get the hell out of here, there's too many of them." Again, we saw the Chinese soldiers charging in with opium-induced mindlessness, oblivious of our bullets. Again, we heard the bugles and whistles. Climbing out of our foxhole, Bob dropped 2 hand grenades behind us, and I threw one over my shoulder. Bullets whizzing by our heads, Bob and I became bolts of lightning flashing across the mountainside. Like a hideous film, desperate scenes like this played out on the Tokong Pass for 3 days. Sometimes I played in the scene. Sometimes I could only watch and wonder if it were real, or if I'd be suddenly jolted out of my trance by an RKO usher saying, "Hey, did you kids sneak in here?"
To acquire this book, Google westsidewarrior.boylan.kindle. Boylan is spelled Boylan. That's Westside Warrior, Boylan, Kindle.
Nowadays, if you are a serious business person, just getting assistance from someone with a license and a bit of experience may not be sufficient. In fact, your realtor actually needs to be knowledgeable enough to be one of your top advisors. Whether you are facilitating a giant merger or selling your company, there's a lot at stake besides your finances. There is the future value of your current investment, financial freedom, integrity, and overall reputation. If you need this kind of assistance, Sandra LaFlamme is a real estate expert with the experience, reputation, and knowledge qualified to assist you in all your key transactions. Sandra LaFlamme, real estate services with integrity and conscience. Contact her today at 888-366-8070. That's Sandra LaFlamme at 888-366-8070.
We're back with Stephanie Slevin on Threshold Radio. Part of Stephanie's mission is to write a wide variety of amazing songs, which she also performs. Another side of her mission appears to be that she's sought after by those on the other side, by the deceased. And when she is, she diligently goes to work. Here's a song about a celebrity, a man with I believe, a celebrity name, and what happened to him when he was a small boy. Not the most pleasant song, but interesting. I know you can't discuss his true identity, but perhaps you can tell us how you came to write this song called Young Freckled-Faced Boy.
Well, yeah, this came to me in whispers, actually. He was whispering his name. So I looked up his name. At first I didn't see anything because there was quite a few of people with that same name. But then I saw this story which kind of just stood out, and I knew it was a story. And as I was reading it, the lyrics came. And I was going to call the song chained to a stake, then he said to me, young freckled-faced boy, he changed the title of the song, which has never happened to me before. And that's how this song came about.
So let's hear it.
Into the darkness, away from the light. Moments of madness were not far from sight, for this young freckle-faced boy was frozen in fear, chained to a stake, and they cut off his ear, and the ransom was paid, and they let him go. He called up his gramps, who would not say hello to this young freckle-faced boy, shivering in fear, being chained to a stake, and they cut off his ear, and though they let him go, his mind was still there, so he turned to the drugs to find comfort and care. This young freckle-faced boy, so all alone, memories of hell in that deep darkened zone, and the drink and the drugs, well, they showed no care, for he spent 30 years confined to a chair, for though they let him go, his mind was still there, no one understanding his time in despair. This young freckle-faced boy, frozen in fear, was chained to a stake, and they cut off his ear, and the ransom was paid, and they let him go. He called up his gramps, who did not want to know. This young freckle-faced boy, shivering in fear, had been chained to a stake, and they cut off his ear, and no comforts of home, no large settee. Such was the curse for John Paul Getty. Yes, such was the curse for John Paul Getty the third.
So I guess we did hear his name, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Well, here's another song with a very strange story, kind of personally significant to you. Tell us about the song, She Silently Sleeps, and the amazing connection about it.
Well, I put my name into Google to go onto my YouTube channel, Stephanie Slevin, and then this other Stephanie Slevin came up, and it said about her being murdered, and I was quite shocked actually. So I started reading the story, and then I was reading about her father's pain, and all of a sudden the lyrics started to come. I was actually in the internet cafe at the time, and I was a bit shaken, so I left the internet cafe, came home, wrote down all the lyrics, and a few days later the music came, and it's about her father's pain on finding her murdered.
Let's hear She Silently Sleeps.
She silently sleeps as her father weeps, and by her graveside her mourners creep. His worst fears, they have come to light. He's all alone in the darkest night, and no one can ever feel his pain. The angels took her up above, surround her with a feathered glove, forever are keeping her warm. He gets down on wounded knee, but past his pain he cannot see. Says, oh Lord, it should have been me. For no one can ever feel, no one can ever heal, no one can ever feel his pain. He wakes up to the morning light, his pain's not left in the night. Well, tell me, Lord, what can he do? He's all alone in his darkest grief, a glimpse of her, even if so brief. Oh Lord, please let him see. silently sleeps as her father weeps, and by her graveside her mourners grieve. His worst fears, they have come to light. He's all alone in the darkest night, and no one can ever feel his pain. For no one can ever feel his pain.
Another sad song, the second of two you wrote about a small boy who was the victim of an exceedingly evil crime. Tell us about the song and the situation behind it, called Unknown Angel.
Yeah, he was a little boy. He's known as the boy in the box. For some reason, the spirits always seemed to lead me overseas to the United States, only a couple of times here in London. And this little boy was found on a deserted lane in a cardboard box in 1957. And my friend Michelle actually sent me a link to YouTube to another song called Concrete Angel. And I noticed beside that song was the story about the boy in the box. So after listening to Concrete Angel, I listened to the story of Unknown Angel, and straight away I just wrote a song. That's how it came about.
Well, let's hear it. Let's hear Unknown Angel.
Please could you give my song a listen and support the song America's Unknown Angel, and comment and share to keep the story ongoing. Thank you, Steph. What can we do? What can we say to make it all better, to make it okay? Little boy lost, no name and no home, begs for an angel to call of his own. And I say, God, send him an angel, for he cannot fly. Send him an angel, for his wings are dry. Send him an angel to call of his own. Please send him an angel to carry him home. We can but listen to his cries for help. Alone in the lane, he's silent of yelp. The boy in the box, to the world he's known. Please can you help us bring him back home? For we say, God, send him an angel, for he cannot fly. Send him an angel, for his wings are dry. Send him an angel to call of his own. Please send him an angel to carry him home. What can we say when we heavily sigh? Can you not feel his pain? Can you not hear his cry? We all say our prayers through decades of time. Please put an end to this hideous crime. And he says, God, send me an angel, for I cannot fly. Send me an angel from your heaven so high. Send me an angel, for I'm all alone. Please send me an angel to fly me back home.
If you like Threshold Radio, a program which deals with core issues affecting our personal, political, and spiritual lives,
and advocates the creation of an enlightened, informed citizenry, not only in America, but throughout the world, then you might think of supporting both your product and business and our message by advertising on our show. All programs are archived and are supported in various ways, including social media, our outreach being broadcast weekly on VegasAllNetRadio.com, a very advanced internet broadcasting station, but also archived directly on our websites, on YouTube and in SoundCloud. We believe in time we will have a very broad outreach. Through New Galaxy Enterprises, our parent company, we can create a wide range of marketing and advertising components to complement your advertising on Threshold Radio and increase your outreach in many creative and exciting ways. If interested, just go to www.thresholdradio.com and fill out a contact form with your interest. That's www.thresholdradio.com. Now here's a song of yours, Stephanie, that I really like called The Real Me. Why don't you say a word or two about that one?
Well, that's just from personal experiences, and I was finding more belief in myself and getting a bit braver to put my stuff out there. And it's kind of an upbeat song of how I feel.
Well, we all need that, so let's give us a little taste of The Real Me.
They say you can take the girl out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of me. But why would I want you to, for that's the real me. And I was laying outside, and I laid down in the gutter, and I was quiet for some time, for I did not but stutter. I was not alone, for I lay there with another, and I bathed him in my tears, for he was my tongue-tied baby brother. For they took me to the dark side, they made me feel the pain, they threw me on the dampened floor, bound my hands in chains. They bound my mother freaking hands in chains. They say you can take the girl out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of me. But why would I want you to, for that's the real me. And I met a man who I clearly did not see, for he was a well-respected member of a blinded community. And I was one against an army, I did so but fear. Yes, I was one against an army, but look, for I'm still standing here. They took me to the dark side, they made me feel the pain, they threw me on the dampened floor, bound my hands in chains. They bound my mother freaking hands in chains. They say you can take the girl out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of me. But why would I want you to, for that's the real me. When I buy a pad, I'm gonna buy it above the station. I'm gonna put out all my music and astound the whole goddamn freaking nation. For they never gave me the time, and they never gave me the chance. So now I'm gonna give it to myself and show you exactly how I dance. For they took me to the dark side, they made me feel the pain, they threw me on the dampened floor, bound my hands in chains. They bound my mother freaking hands in chains.
Here's another really interesting song, not really about the, well, it is about the deceased. It's about John F. Kennedy coming to Dublin when you were a small girl, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I was 2.5.
Here we go with Dublin.
You came to see Dublin City, Dublin City. In 1963, you came to see Dublin City. A man advance for his time and stood in line for us to see that you stood for mankind, for you were not blind, no, you were not blind, for you came to see Dublin City, full of courage, no fear, to stand your ground and voice your sound, stood for humanity in its purity, for the world to see in Dublin City. For you came to see Dublin City, Dublin City. A man advanced for his time and stood in line for us to see that it's not what mankind can do for us, but what we can do for mankind. For you came to see Dublin City, Dublin City. And what an honor for the land to shake your hand in Ireland. For in 1963 we came to see President John F. Kennedy.
Wife, I was very sad the day he died. I was a bit older than you. I was in a barber shop. And I can tell you, given the succession of various people on the presidential stage and now in the various presidential campaigns, I really miss this guy. I really wish he was back. But anyway, we have to live with what we have. Tell us a little bit about what's next for you, Stephanie. What are the fascinating things you're working on now?
Well, I find myself being led in the direction of writing songs for the deceased, because there's still so many spirits that come to me in dream and give me messages, and there's many songs I've got to write. I'm working on quite a few now, and it's going to keep me busy for some time.
Well, we're working on something together too, right?
Yep, we are.
So there's going to be a little bit of news, hopefully, down the line. Okay, well, I want to thank you for being here with us today. It's been a great honor, and I hope we can do this again soon.
Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Well, I also want to thank the wonderful musical artists who I've been privileged to work with and to play on Threshold Radio. Zabe Nathan, Bonnie Blaze, Patricia Welch, Edgar Ahrens. It's been really great to work with all these people, and another person I'm working with is Rod Tyler. Anyway, thanks to the owners of Vegas All Net Radio who are making radio come alive again, a voice of liberty in the wilderness of a media desert. Particular thanks to John Stiles, Irma and Ryan, who's with us today, as he's also the production director, but he's now our board op and always comes through for us. And finally, an homage to the great Hassan Khan, who's helped me with the websites, YouTube promotions, commercials, and now even by flexing his musical muscles. Hassan has helped me make this program happen. If you need his help in any of these areas, contact me at info@newgalaxyenterprises.com. That's info@newgalaxyenterprises.com. And now we're going to just tell you a little bit about our company, New Galaxy Enterprises.
My company, New Galaxy Enterprises, is a California corporation specializing in the creation of media and promotional content. We are focused on original, innovative projects that are good for humanity. These projects could be nonfiction books or novels, fictional screenplays or documentary content, websites and website content, commercial advertising content for print, audio, or video products on the internet, television, or radio, musical scores for advertising, television, or film, video, audio editing, etc. We want to promote products and projects that support the environment, encourage a healthy experience in living,
developing, nurturing, and useful technology, and offering platforms for positive, socially constructive entertainment or informative, transformative media. Our experience in creating a variety of products like this is rather vast, and we offer client-based and collaborative products, as well as the opportunity of active investors to join us in the creation and promotion of proprietary products, some of which are in latter stages of development. For more information, go to www.newgalaxyenterprises.com. That's www.newgalaxyenterprises.com. If you're interested in talking to us, just fill out the contact sheet and we will get back with you. Well, we're going to go out now. See you next week. But here is Stephanie Slevin's song, What Goes Around.
You say what goes around comes right back around, but that's not true for me. They say what goes around comes right back around, and that it comes in threes. Please bring me rest, bring me some peace. Please knock on my door, and I promise I'll ask for nothing forever, evermore. Rise up from the darkness and step into the light. Close your eyes, embrace me, feel tomorrow's end of night. Ask me for forgiveness, and I will see it done. I know you think that all is lost, and the battle they have won. You do not see so clearly, you're blinded by the dark. Have I not shown you I am here, and for you to leave your mark, and for you to leave your mark? What goes around comes around, comes around. Say what goes around comes right back around, but that's not true for me. They say what goes around comes right back around, and that it comes in threes. You think I didn't love you and I left you alone, but the first step had to come.
Views and opinions expressed on this program were those of the hosts and guests and did not necessarily reflect those of Vegas All Net Radio, its affiliates, or its parent company, 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 or its parent company.